Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things while we're flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Farmer Griffith, and Farmer Griffith is a farmer located in Shatrath City looking after his ewes. If you don't know what a ewe is, it is a female sheep. So he has 2 female sheep, and they're just chilling with him, and he's just chilling. He's got a shovel, he's got some sort of meat thing, I believe, and then it looks like cheese or butter is there as well, and then he's got a jug of something. It could be water, it could be wine, like who knows what he's got, and then he's carrying a pitchfork. That's really all there is to Farmer Griffith, but I kind of love that. I love that he's just this random farmer in Shatrath City, and his ewes do have a purpose. There's the achievement to all the squirrels I've loved before, where you have to go around Azeroth and slash love all the critters, and ewes are one of the critters you have to love, and so you can just go to these and slash love them for the achievement. So there you go. He's not completely pointless, although I guess his ewes would be the meaningful thing, and then he'd be pointless. But there are actually a couple of Griffiths in Stormwind, Seoman Griffith and Alyssa Griffith, so he could be related to them, but there's no telling if he actually is. Plus, Griffith seems like a pretty common name, so I don't know. But either way, he's number 10. 9. Number 9 are Farmer Ray, Getz, and Kalaba in the Hillsbred Fields, and these are the 3 farmers that are very close to each other in the Hillsbred Fields, and you have to kill them as part of a quest for High Executor Darthalia, and she wants them killed in order to disrupt the humans' food supply and infrastructure, and she wants Farmer Kalaba killed out of revenge. I just always remember doing this quest, and it just kind of sticks out. So when I thought of doing farmers, I was like, well, those 3 have to be on the list because they're like staples of World of Warcraft in my mind, at least if you're a Horde player. I don't know about Alliance, but the other big thing is they become the Ray Getz Kalaba monstrosity in Cataclysm, which is actually a reskin of Rotface and Festergut from ICC. But overall, there's nothing too special about these farmers. They're just part of a quest. They're just in Hillsbred, but they're memorable, and that's why they're number 9. 8. Number 8 are the Dwarven Farmers, and the Dwarven Farmers are found in the southern wetlands reachable from the Dunmorrow airfield. For some reason, the farmers give out the same kind of information as Ironforge Mountaineers as if they were located in Dunmorrow. So that got me thinking to like, is this some sort of, thing that was supposed to be implemented that never was? And then on Wowhead, I read this. It says, actually, it seems those farmers found in the wetlands were scenery from a very early version of WoW. Ironforge was supposed to have a gate opening directly there, and that can be confirmed using WoW Map Viewer to explore the area. That dwarf gate that leads to nothing could very well be connected to Ironforge. Also, if you explore that area a little, you'll see some mountains without texturing, high and perpendicular to the ground, almost as if they are only there to serve as a wall. I can only imagine that it was created as a blocker so that players can't visit the area. Also, a road from the farm leads right to these walls and has quite detailed scenery along the path. So they were probably going to be something, but then they never were. And I love that. And that's why they're number 8. 7. Number 7 are the Silk Farmers, and Silk Farmers are Pandaren farmers in the silken fields of the Valley of the Four Winds, and they raise silkworms around the valley for cloth. One large worm named Silky sometimes bites them instead of the food that they usually eat. So you can see here, he's like, eat up, big fella. And then Silky's like, ruh, ruh, ruh. He just picks him up and just starts whacking him around and throwing him around. And he's like, oh, my face, bad worm. That's a bad worm. And that's really it. There's nothing else involved in this area. It's just Silky the silkworm and the silk farmers. And there's little silkworms all around, but Silky's the main one. And he's just, he's gotten too big, man. But the silk farmers have to deal with Silky, and that's just, that's their job. That's their life. And, you got to respect them for it. And that's why the silk farmers are number 7. 6. Number 6 is Tabitha, and Tabitha is not your conventional farmer, and it didn't really strike me that she was a farmer until I realized that you go to Tabitha's farm deep in the Quagmire and Dustwallow Marsh. So I was like, you know what? If it's Tabitha's farm, that would make her a farmer. She's actually a powerful mage living with 2 apprentices, and she's been training generations of apprentices at her farm from both Horde and Alliance, though this shouldn't be possible as the humans only arrived in Kalimdor within the last decade. As she is seen working with Vile, she is also apparently an alchemist. So nobody really knows anything about Tabitha, like where she came from, who she is. She did actually have the quest where you go get her Tiara of the Deep back from Hydromancer Velrotha in Zul'Farrak, so maybe she had some sort of Zul'Farrak tie-in back then. I have no idea. She does help both Alliance and Horde, because pretty much both of them have quests where they're like, go check on Tabitha, and then she's like, yeah, what's up? It is she's actually one of the most confusing, weirdest NPCs in the game, probably, and I imagine she's like one of those really powerful NPCs that nobody really knows anything about. So I actually want to learn a lot more about Tabitha, but for now, she's just a really cool, unconventional farmer. And that's why she's number 6. 5. Number 5 are the Saldian farmers, and the Saldian's farm is unique in Westfall in that it is the only farm that was never completely overrun by the Defias Brotherhood. Though the Defias harvest golems roam the fields, Farmer Saldian and his wife Salma Saldian have stubbornly refused to leave. The farmhouse has been serving as a halfway house for years, and the couple does its best to keep their guests alive. I would also say these are some of the most well-known farmers in World of Warcraft. Most people have been to Westfall, they've been to the Saldian farm, they've gotten the Westfall stew, they've done the special chicken feed quest where you gotta cluck at the chicken, and on top of that, the Saldians have actually carried over into numerous other expansions with a bunch of additional lore that is too much to get into right now, but you can go look it up if you want, because there's a lot of it, so that is why the Saldian farmers are number 5. 4. Number 4 is Farmer Goldfield, and Farmer Goldfield is a human located at Goldfield Farmstead in Stormsong Valley, and some people have called him Mancrick 2.0, because much like Mancrick, who hates the Quillboars, Farmer Goldfield also despises the Quillboars. So when you do one of the quests, he says, you see the problem. No, you don't. Problem is in all these dang Quillboar. Quillboar I can shoot all day. Been shooting them all my life since my pappy gave me my first gun. Problem is these pigs are tough, tougher than they've been before. Can't kill them like I used to, see? My new modified bullets just get stuck in them and they refuse to die. Take my knife, go out there and kill some Quillboar and get my ammo back. Then I can shoot the rest. I won't stop till there's none left. So you go out there, you do that, you come back and give him the ammo, and he says, I'm not leaving. I'm never leaving. Those Quillboar, they killed them. I gave her the watch, told her to hurry, grab our boy and get to the house while I got the gun. Goldfield choking back tears. I won't leave. Our family has our roots here. They would want me to stay, don't you understand? This is our farm. My boy, he wanted to join the militia. I made him a sword. Goldfield takes a deep breath. Now you know. Help me retake my farm. Grab a gun and let's kill every last one. So after helping him with all that, he says, my wife, she loved the carnations that grow by the water's edge. If you could gather some, there's a nice spot under a tree by the river. We loved to go there when the sun was setting after our days in the fields. Our boy would run around catching bugs, making reed whistles. So he really is like a Mancrick 2.0. And, you know, I don't think a lot of people know about him because obviously it's a random BFA quest. So if you haven't done this, you haven't really known about him. And that's why I like doing these pointless top 10s, to find the stories like Farmer Goldfield's. And that's why he's number 4. 3. Number 3 are Theodore and Verna Furlbrow, and they owned a pumpkin farm in northern Westfall. The couple decided to leave Westfall when their farm was overrun by the Defias Brotherhood, but their wagon broke down on the road to Elwyn. Stranded, they wound up squatting at the Jansen Steed for the next 5 years. And of course, this is also where Old Blanchy is, the horse. Around the time of Cataclysm, the Furlbrows and their horse, Old Blanchy, were found murdered near their cart at the Jansen Steed, and there's a big investigation quest that I think plenty of people have done, which is one of the better Cataclysm quests, actually. The Furlbrows also have a son, Private Furlbrow, who joined the Valiance expedition with the Westfall Brigade, and he's stationed at the Westfall Brigade encampment at Grizzly Hills. And he actually has a big argument with Private Jansen, where Private Jansen's like, boy, what I wouldn't give for a bowl of Salma Saldian's Westfall stew right about now. And Private Furlbrow's like, you know, it's not Salma Saldian's recipe. And he's like, what? And he's like, it's not Salma Saldian's recipe. It's my ma's. She asked some passerby to deliver it to Salma right before she and Pa left Westfall with Old Blanchy. And he's like, yeah, well, at least the Saldians didn't flee Westfall when things got tough. And he's like, no one insults Ma and Pa. Take it back. And he's like, you heard what I said. Your parents are cowards, and so are you, Furlbrow. And then they battle it out, and Private Furlbrow wins, and he says, glad you decided to see it my way. And then he's like, okay, I take it back. Your Ma and Pa weren't cowards. And so I decided to put him at number 3 for a few reasons. One is they were the inventors of Westfall stew, right? Number 2 is for this big interaction with their son fighting it out. And then number 3 is they had Old Blanchy. So for all those reasons, they're They're number 3. 2. Number 2 is Farmer Yoon, and Farmer Yoon is a young Pandaren from the city who inherited Sunsong Ranch from his grandfather. After giving his farm away to the adventurer, Yu, he occasionally can be found at Half Hill Market. So Farmer Yoon has this big backstory where he always would go visit his grandfather, Old Yoon, at the family farm, and then his grandfather passes the farm down to him, but he's from the city, he doesn't know how to farm. And then the Tillers Union is like, here comes the city kid. And he's just like, oh no, I want to prove that I can do this and prove it to my grandfather. And that's where you come in and you aid him and help him get the farm going and essentially kind of make it your own farm, right? And then after a while, everybody respects him and they're like, wow, you did it. And, you know, it's a fun little story. And so I wanted to put him on the list because he's probably got the most interactive farming in World of Warcraft, making him one of the most interactive farmers outside of, you know, people farming herbs and gold and whatever, but, you know, actual farming. And I always just think it's a nice little wholesome story where you play through this and he earns the respect of everybody. So, you know, it's a little cliche, but a lot of things are cliche. And that's why Farmer Yoon is number 2. 1. And number 1 is Farmer Torp, an orc located west of Warsonghold in the Borean tundra. And Torp is actually a Swedish word roughly meaning farm or cottage. And the reason he is number 1 is because this man knows how to cure the plague. So when I was doing my research into all these farmers, I found this comment and he said, Farmer Torp remains the only NPC capable of curing the plague. Not Keeper Remulos, not Alexstrasza, not Adal. Only Farmer Torp can cure the plague. So when you talk to him, he's like, just look at him. My beautiful Kodos are helpless to defend themselves against those filthy swine. I need you to buy me some time. I think I can cure the Kodos of their sickness, but you need to keep the unliving swine off of them. So you fight all the swine off of them, and then he gives you an antidote, and he puts it into their mouth, and they bite down on it, and it cures them of the plague. So he really does cure the Kodos of the plague. Imagine if Farmer Torp was there during the culling of Stratholme instead of Arthas. He would have saved everybody. There would have been no plague. There would be no expansions. We would have went home. If only we had Farmer Torp. And that's why he's number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you want to check out more Pointless Top 10s, we just had pumpkins last week. If you want to stick with the farm theme, or the week before that, we had creepy NPCs if you're still in a Halloween mood. Also, consider becoming a channel member and getting access to monthly Q&As, or becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/Crendor. Okay? Okay. See ya.